Welcome. I'm here with Colonel Benjamin Stinson, who is the IT portfolio manager for the Marine Corps, and we're here in Quantico, Virginia. And Colonel, I first of all wanted to ask you about your acquisition strategy that you have right now, something you've been working on to go faster, more agile. So would you mind just kind of filling us in on what you're doing to help the Marine Corps with that?
Sure, thank you. I appreciate that. So our acquisition velocity strategy is getting after what our customers need most, and that is for us to get IT to them faster. We don't want to use the same processes we've used in the past because we have historical data that shows we're not delivering on time. So we have to try something new. Industry is using a unique blend of things. We've tried to pull out the best of breed, the best of practices of what industry is doing, and put them together in a strategy that makes sense for us. So it's tailored. It's not, we can't do what industry does exactly. So we've tailored it, but the four components that we are using in our new acquisition velocity strategy are agile development. We are not going to do waterfall development. It doesn't work for IT for the speed of how we need to deliver the product. So we are implementing agile. That also means that we're going to have to work differently with our vendors, industry, because it's different products we want from them now. We don't want to give them what we think is the perfect requirement, let them go develop, and then come back a year or two later and see if what they developed worked. Industry, I think, would rather come and work with us, develop a product with us, test it along the way, and then we deliver little bits and increments of capability to the warfighter. So they're not waiting that year or two to have something in their hands. As we provide what we're calling minimum viable capability, Agile calls it minimum viable product, but we're going to deliver minimum viable capability at a much more rapid rate to the warfighter. That's the first element of our strategy. The second element of our strategy is creating a digital twin. The Secretary of the Navy and actually at OSD at the engineer level have come out telling DoD we need to do digital engineering of our systems. That's again how industry is doing it. They're creating models of how their systems behave so they can rapidly test it. So we want to create a digital twin of the McSen so that when these new things come in, we can quickly drop them in, understand the challenges with the interfaces, and see whether or not the new product actually makes a difference on the McSen. So that will enable our Agile to go faster. All four of these elements are intertwined, they're mutually supporting, and they're better together than they are separately added up. So after the digital twin, we are increasing our stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement encompasses the change management that's required to do something of this nature. We have people who for their whole career in acquisition on the government side, have been doing waterfall acquisition. And we have to train them how to do agile acquisition. It's a different mindset.
Right.
And these new strategies, changing as much as we're changing in this regard, requires you to do change management. We actually have to figure out how to get the workforce trained, adapted, reward the new mindset, reward the new outcomes that are going to come from Agile. Stakeholder management also includes some of the tenets of Agile, and that is being transparent to our customers and our stakeholders. We have to let them know where we are with our system, full and open kimono, right? They have to see all the warts, they have to see where we're ahead, where we are delivering, and they have to see where the challenges that we're encountering in the system and its development. They have to be able to adjust their budgets based upon, which are normally fixed budgets, right? They have to adjust them based upon the fact that some integrations are more challenging than others. You don't know that going into it. So stakeholder management, stakeholder engagement is a very important component. The fourth component of our new acquisition velocity strategy is getting after our data and our tools so that we can use the algorithms of machine learning and artificial intelligence to make better and faster decisions. We want to unlock the value of our data. Right now our data is kept in stovepipe locations with the different data owners, and it's very hard to share it. And oftentimes the only way we can move it from place to place is literally hand jamming it or cutting and pasting of it. And even cutting and pasting of it can cause errors to replicate across the systems. So we don't want to do that. We want to be able to integrate our data and have a full picture and make decisions based on a full picture instead of portions of a picture.
You talked about with the acquisition workforce rewarding that behavior that goes into Agile. How do you do that? How do you get the people to do what you want them to do? Is it a meritocracy type system, or what's going on with that?
Right. Most of so I'm recently gone through some Agile courses, and the thing that we learn in Agile that's the motivator behind this is you have to kind of take a position. Do you really think your workforce is motivated and wants to provide to the warfighter, or do you think you need to do everything you can to make them get the work done? These workers are knowledge workers. In many cases, the people that work for me know more about that particular subject or that competency area, say contracts, right? I'm not a warranted contracting officer, but I have people who are. And so I need to get out of their way, enable their success, help eliminate the barriers. I have to believe in them that they are trying to do the very best they're doing to deliver that capability. So as long as people are behaving in that way, they get rewarded, one, by delivering product to the warfighter, and most everybody who works for the government is intrinsically motivated to do that. But they also get to claim the success of doing that, right? So their value in the organization, as opposed, compared to their peers or with their team, it becomes a very team dynamic. Hey, our team delivered this. So the success builds upon the success. And if we have to, if there are people who don't like working in that environment or don't want to do it that way, then you have to worry about fit, right? You have to figure out where do people fit in the organization. And maybe if they don't like or prefer the agile method, we have to find a place where they fit somewhere else that they can provide value to the organization. But we have to have people in our organization who will deliver quickly and who are willing to work with other people. It's a real team sport, this agile development.
Sure. So talking about something, the workforce, something that everyone uses is operating systems. Windows 10 migration, something that has been, Terry Halverson, when he was CIO of DoD, said that he would like to see everyone migrate to that. That is under your purview. How are things going, and where have you found some struggles?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that. The Win 10 migration was the largest effort, the largest IT effort that the Marine Corps had undertaken in our history. It was over $110 million effort with both hardware, software, and paying for the services to help the people to help us migrate this. So we bought IT support. So it was the largest single IT expenditure and effort that the Marine Corps did. We migrated 180,000 machines. We purchased 110,000 end user devices. And all of this we did in the course of about a year. And the Marine Corps was the only service that met the DoD CIO timeline of being migrated to Windows 110 or Windows 10 rather. The amount, the part of the network that needed to be migrated. There are some systems still their operating system is very linked to their application, and so they have to do more development on the application side to be able to sit on a Win 10 operating system. Those were set aside, but the basic network, your workstations, your standard workstations, that was about 180,000, almost 200,000 systems. We migrated those. We were the first service to do it. We did it by 31 March this year.
Great.
That was a great success story.
And so speaking of that, we've talked about operating systems. There's also networks that fall under your purview. One thing, network security is one of the most important things for DoD right now, and they're trying to really crack down, harden things. Where are you looking into things at that, and how can industry help you?
So we want to use the best of the tools we have. That's one problem. We buy a lot of tools, and they are 50 or 80% or maybe 25% overlapped in the capability of the tool. So we have lots of things that we have already purchased that can help us with the security of the network, that can help us with endpoint management, that can help us with asset management, that can make sure that when a device connects to the network that it is up to date and has the latest patches and everything it needs to be able to join the network. What we need to do first is coordinate the efforts of those tools. And then on top of that, we're looking at other products to bring onto our network that can see further into the network, that can help us understand quality of service. Right now, that's something that we're working towards. We have a network that is partially enabled to do quality of service, but we have to implement policies to do that. So the other thing is there is no tool that we can buy and put it on our network that will instantly fix policy problems. The tool asks you to implement those policy problems or policy statements. So we're working very closely with our partners up at Headquarters Marine Corps C4 to make sure, and the operators of the network, Marforce Cyber, and the Marine Cyber Operations Group, MACOG, which is located out here on the TBS side of Quantico, we're working with them to make sure that they have the policy ready when we have the tool there, because you have to implement, that's part of the configuration set of the tool when you put it on the network.
So your network can be super secure, but if your hardware isn't secure, then everything kind of falls apart. So how are you ensuring that supply chain management is important right now? I know that Congress has done some new things in the NDAA, but what are you doing now?
Right. So it's very important that we make sure that we have vendors that are on an approved list. we're working to make sure through all the legalities of this, look, we don't want to exclude a company that's making a good product. But if you're a company that doesn't know where all of your subcomponents came from when you assembled the component, that's a great concern for us in DoD.
Yeah.
We have to be assured, we call it the trusted foundry, we have to be assured that the components that go into that IT system had a chain of custody, if you will. We know where they came from the whole time. There's some really exciting new technologies coming with blockchain that will help us be able to understand down to the chipset, down to the, where the plastic or the metal was made or the silicon was made. We'll be able to tell where it was, in whose hands it was in, and that we can trust that nothing nefarious was put into that device. So there's some policy side, there's some legal side, there's some technology side to this that come together to help make sure that when we buy a product, it's trusted and we can put it on our network.
Great. Colonel Stinson, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.